Hi lovies, you're welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, that leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's dive in today's video. So lovely, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I just thought to share with you guys where this, pan-colored woman is art for, black guys. I'm just gonna roll her clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
So as a clear woman myself, something I noticed is that a lot of clear women and men of color have a lot in common. So for thousands of years, clear women did not raise their children. Women of color raised clear women's children, even nursed their children. Which is why so many clear women have no maternal instinct and lack empathy and emotional intelligence and don't seem to really want to be bothered with their children and are not really nurturers, right? And it's another reason why so many clear people are drug addicts or homeless or messed up or have narcissistic mothers, and why society is doing the way it is. And it sounds a lot like someone else, who has no empathy or emotional intelligence, who's narcissistic and psychopathic and doesn't want to be bothered with their children and doesn't like raising their kids. But I digress. Clear women have a lot of Stockholm syndrome to clear men the same way men of color have a lot of Stockholm syndrome to clear men, right? And of course, clear women get clear privilege, which a lot of them know if they give it up, such as being woke or an N-word lover, or even going as far as having a biracial child with a clear womb that belongs to a clear man to reproduce for his race. She knows she's gonna have to pay the toll, and she will lose her privilege in society, right, if she goes against massa. And men of color really like having a proximity to clearness, right, because they want to feel powerful. And a lot of them have Stockholm syndrome from buck breaking. And even back in slavery days, there was a lot of triangulation where some of the clear men and slave owners would treat different slaves differently. Like, say a slave was a good fighter, say a slave was a good singer, say certain slaves had different talents, they would be treated differently, right? And of course, above women of color, absolutely. You already know women of color were always at the bottom of the totem pole. So clear women and men of color were given these privileges that were slightly, above women of color, right? Which made them feel a little bit more important and superior. Even though women of color are the ones who are raising both of their fucking children for thousands of years, right? And it's funny how they try to paint women of color as the drug addict, ratchet mother, right? Who's the bad one who abuses her children, when it tends to be clear women, right? And how colonizers actually introduced child abuse to society in the first place, right? So it's a learned behavior by clear people. And it seems both clear women and men of color have no concern about anything but self. Yes, and do you know why that is? Because the way the black community and black women coddle black men is the same way white women have been coddled in society. Because black women always had to work. Black women weren't ever able to just stay home. Black women didn't have nannies. They were the nanny. The black women were working for the white woman. And back in the day, if you looked at a white woman the wrong way, God forbid, Emmett Till, white women have always been treated like little, delicate, angelic, sweet flowers, damsels in distress, while black women, since they're born, are treated like adults and expected to be more mature than their age and take on more responsibility and be stronger than they should be. Even as little girls, black women aren't allowed to actually be a little girl. There's always such high expectations and standards on black women, even when they're little girls, compared to white girls who are actually usually able to be a little girl. Same as how black men are coddled in the black community due to male worship by the women who coddle the black men. White women are coddled in society. White women are coddled by the white community, but they're mainly coddled by the whole society. And black men are coddled by the black community, while black women are expected to do more than black men and take on more and be responsible for black men as well. Everything is the black woman's fault. The black man never gets accountability, just like the white woman never has to take accountability. White women didn't have to work. They always had a soft life, even though white women are still being abused by males under the patriarchy and always have been abused, just like all of us, because again, women couldn't have a bank account until 1974, and marriage is indentured servitude for women. So white women still were getting raped, and their fathers were still selling them and marrying them at 12, 13 years of age. They're still women and still get treated as such. However, they still have been coddled, where black women have been treated since the day they're born like they're supposed to protect, provide, work. The weight of the world has always been on black women's shoulders. White women and black men are both coddled. So I did a video on how clear women and men of color are very similar for some of the reasons why, right? And how it leads to a lot of this demographic becoming narcissists and psychopaths and having narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder. Now let me explain why that is. White woman, clear woman, you have the privilege of being clear, however, you're still a woman. So you're still seen as less than human and an inferior in this society of patriarchy and misogyny. Because remember, even though you're a clear woman, you still weren't allowed to have your own bank account until 1974. And you still don't have rights to your own body. So that little bit of privilege you have that makes you feel superior, it's a facade. And it only can be used if you do what the clear men want you to do. You can't get that same clear privilege if you're having biracial children or, messing with men of color. They're going to discard you and mistreat you for that as a quote-unquote punishment. Just like men of color, although they are black and we live in a society of racism, they're still a man. So they have that combination of being black, which is an oppressed group of people, but also being a man, which is the hierarchy, the top of the food chain in the patriarchy. So the clear women have clear privilege and men of color have male privilege, but they still both don't realize that they are lower on the totem pole, right? So they feel they are superior, especially to women of color who are also black and a woman. So that's two strikes against them, which is why they go through so much more in society. Well, because of this illusion that clear men have put clear women on these pedestals to use clear women as pawns. Because at the end of the day, these males do not care about you. They're using you to continue breeding for their race and their race war because they want to continue superiority and clear supremacy. So you're definitely a baby maker for those clear children. They need you for that. They also need your votes. They need your votes. They need you to continue voting against your own interests, such as making abortion illegal and things of that nature. Like, in some states, they're trying to make it illegal for a woman to get a divorce. So they need you guys to be on their side. So they pander and create narcissism in a lot of clear women by making the clear woman gassed up and putting her on a pedestal, which is the same thing that men of color do when they're trying to target clear women. It's easy to gas up a narcissistic woman. All you gotta do is stroke their ego and tell them they're better than everyone else because of their race. And you know, every clear woman loves to think she's better than someone just because she's clear. Clear women don't realize that clear men just use them as pawns, and that little quote-unquote white privilege, clear privilege that clear woman has only applies if you're doing what clear men want you to do. It does not apply if you're quote-unquote woke or supporting rights, equal rights of humanity. No, then they toss you aside and call you all sorts of names. So it's funny how clear women have this false sense of superiority just because of the clear privilege in society that was strategically used to keep them under the clear men's wing and keep them from opening their brain, waking up and realizing, oh shit, we all have one common enemy. And it's the same way men of color manipulate clear women by trying to triangulate clear women against women of color, and pandering to the clear woman's narcissism and her ego. And this is how a lot of clear women get used and abused and exploited by men of color. Because they really just think they're so fucking special. Because they really think they're so fucking special and better than other women just because of their skin complexion. No, sweetie, you are a woman. You are still seen as the shit on the bottom of people's shoe under this patriarchy society. You are just a pawn to be exploited and used for males' best interest, and going against your own best interest.
So lovely. When I saw this video, I was like, okay, let me just put it up here. So this, clear woman happens to be, when she say clear woman, she means, pan-colored women. So she's a pan-colored woman that is actually a biracial mom. She was, dating or was married to a black guy, after which, I think they divorced and all of that. I've been following her for quite some time because she often talk about, she know a little bit of what is happening in the community and all of that. And I think, so she was just talking about how, she feels that, white women and black men have some kind of characteristics, like they also kind of characteristic in the sense that the way at which white men treat white women is just the same way black men actually treats black women. But in the societal level, they have a kind of characteristic, because these white women, on the other hand, have a privilege of being pan-colored. Then what actually got me interested in what she's actually saying is the fact that they are treated in some type of way if they end up being in interracial relationship, like if they end up getting married to someone that is not, clear skin or pan-colored or something, any way you want to put it. Now, in my own thinking, I was like, wow, so these people have this kind of thing, like it has gotten to the stage in which even if you as a pan-colored person get married to someone that is not pan-colored like you will be discriminated against. Okay, this brought me back to a video that I posted earlier on concerning some biracial children or some biracial kids coming out to talk about how their parents often treat them, or their biracial mom often treat them, how they use some kind of slurs and all of that on them, how they feel so bad for having such, in their lives and all of that. Now, in my own thinking, I was like, is it that because of how their society have treated them for, leaving their pan-colored male to go settle with with a black one? Is that the reason why, if they must have treated them this way, that's why they want to use that, the anger and all of that against the people that they gave birth to? Like, this is just adding up. They just adding up. I understand the part that she was talking about, black men. Some black men, there's some type of way they treat black women. There's some things I see on TikTok and all of that, how these black men will rather, badmouth black women because they want to be with a pan-colored woman. So, and these black women be doing a lot, like they've been doing a lot to actually grow a family, or to actually make sure that they are people that is likable, or there are people that actually want to build something into a relationship, in terms of a relationship. But these men, on the other hand, we keep on giving these women the reasons, to keep on getting disappointed, especially, black women. It's as if black women are just the ones receiving it, both from, the society, the way the society treats black women, even in the health sector. Then if Z, Ray, and Sis, the way they've been treated and all of that. Now, it's so hurting when your own also, treat you in some type of way. Like, you've been treated so bad with the society, with the way the health sector is, and also your own. Like, most of our, not most, like some of our black brothers often talk about how, okay, black women are loud and all of that, black women are this and that, and some of them even end up trying to badmouth black women in order to be with other people. Like, I am not disputing the fact that you cannot be with whosoever you want to be with, but you can just do that without trying to downgrade any woman in your life. Because if you're actually downgrading a black woman, you're actually downgrading your own mom or your sister and all of that. And this is what she's trying to say. She's trying to, just in summary, that it's actually black women that often receive all the backlash, receive all the clinical and all of that. Then in the other hand, as a white woman, when they mingle themselves with maybe dating, then their counterpart, who happens to be white guys, maybe in the society or the government, treat them in some type of way. They're making them to be in the same category as a black man. Yeah. So they have the privilege of being, as a pan-colored woman that is an interracial black pan-colored woman or a biracial pan-colored woman. They still have privilege. But the kind of privilege they have is the kind of privilege that black guys have in the black community. Yeah, black guys have a privilege compared to a black woman. I think so. So when I saw this video, she was just, making it, and I was just trying to reason the main issue why this biracial, children have to come up to like talk about how they've been discriminated even in their white side, and they are often treated a little bit well in their black side. And this just brought me to maybe these women that actually have biracial kids, that's biracial white mom kids, are not even happy having it. They are just doing it maybe they like the black culture and all of that, or maybe
they actually want to use this N word of a thing. They want to be a little bit of, so maybe because of that they want to have it, but deep down inside of them they actually do not want this, because of the backlash they are receiving from their own society. They just brought us to the same thing we're talking about. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. If you agree with her, you can just leave it in the comment section. If you think that colored women, especially these ones with biracial, have the same characteristic with the black guys, you can just leave it in the comment section. As I said earlier, we are just here to learn. We're here to educate ourselves. Leave me your own thought in the comment section, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next
Watch
one.
up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes, guys. Alright, lovelies. Please share this video, subscribe, and I will see you when I upload the next one.